Now, in April 2007, 14-year-old Gospel Uebari Kinani left his home in Khana local government area of River State and vanished for years. Now, his family searched in vain, eventually believing he was dead. 18 years later, Gospel was discovered alive behind bars in prison custody. So the question is, how did a missing teenager end up in jail for nearly 2 decades? Marian Vincent-Okoh unveils the painful journey of a boy lost in the system and the selfless lawyers who brought him back to light.
This is Gospel Uebari Kinani, the young man whose story recently trended following his release after being allegedly held in prison custody without charge or trial for 18 years since age 14. He finally left prisons through jail delivery by River State Chief Judge July. The interest this story generated prompted NTA News to seek out Gospel for further findings. Elder brother to Gospel Paul Kinani narrates how the youngster went out to play sometime in April 2007 and never returned home.
We go with boys outside and then play with them. Also, every time, don't normal as other children do behave. Come back to the house too. But 10, 11, we do not see him. So we started looking for him everywhere. We don't know what to do. Finally, after I died.
According to the leader of the foundation which discovered him in the prison cell, their attention was drawn to him when they discovered that he was not in the right mental and psychological state.
When we inquired further from inmates and officials, they said indeed he has been there for a very long period of time, but apparently they can't really trace his records and all of that, and maybe probably due to his mental health, he couldn't really identify himself. But he gave us his name to be Gospel Uebari Kinani.
Though physically free, incarceration has obviously taken its toll on Gospel's mental health, such that he cannot even express himself coherently, let alone recall the incidents that led to his being held in prison. Curious about the alleged claim that he was unlawfully remanded, we took it up with the Controller of Corrections, River State Command, Madumere Felix. He says the boy was brought in on June 9, 2010, at the age of 22, with a valid awaiting trial warrant on the case of armed robbery, though he had no casemate, with the name Baridi Sunday. The question now is, was there any sentence that he should be remanded for 15 years?
When an armed robbery case is filed at the magistrate court will definitely remand and say file to be taken to DPP for advice. And on that strength, custodial centers can keep that person in hold, waiting for DPP to file advice. If they file advice, they will send a warrant calling him up to a high court, where he will now go and face his matter. So in the case of this boy, he was arraigned to a magistrate court. And definitely that magistrate court doesn't have jurisdiction over his matter, so they will adjourn his case in a day.
It is the responsibility of the people who are taking custody of such suspects that are being taken to the correctional center to ensure that that person is being properly documented, and that while being documented is taken care of while under their custody. There are some people who are in custody of that person, and they're supposed to report back if they find out that there's nothing holding him in that facility.
One of the remedies will be the issue of integrating him to society. Now, that bit is very, very crucial. The therapist will play a part there, and then the use of social support will also be very, very valuable here. Because one of the effects of long-term incarceration is that the person may even feel worthless. His self-esteem will be low.
For now, efforts are being made by the foundation to address his severe mental distress, while his family is calling for further investigation by relevant authorities.